Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's time for the Gnome Friends Owl Dies assembly. Hey, so I'm using the brand new Gnome Friends Owl Dies along with their Owl Faces stamp set, and I'm going to assemble these little guys. So first I cut out the base out of American Crafts black cardstock, and then I'm adding a brown layer, American Crafts brown cardstock. And then I've got cream for its little belly. You can make whatever color owl you want. Right? Now the two little feet, that's Paper Tray Ink Orange Zest cardstock. So these are the little perching feet. I'm using Barely Art glue, working on a Stampin' Up pad. All my die cutting today was done on my Anna Griffin Empress, all my normal stuff. Okay, so next I'm adding on the little face. There we go, super cute. Fine linen cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And then this is that cream color again for this little feather part, eyebrow part. So it's super easy to put these together, and I think that they are just adorable, right? So there we go. Now there are 3 different wing types. These ones are going to look like they're flying out to the side. So you just stick a little bit of glue along the edge where there's no stitching, and then stick it behind your owl. So how cute is that? Right? Now you can see where the little face, stitching is, and that's where you line things up. So we've got 2 pieces of Paper Tray Ink white cardstock for the owl eyes. There we go. You'll see the pointy part kind of goes towards the nose. There we are. Oops, I'm just trying to line things up. Then next we have the brown. It's kind of like a rusty brown. For the eye color. You can skip this part and just put the black centers on, but I'm adding on the brown layer. So brown eyes. You can see they line up on the inside of that white eye. The little nose is that same orange zest cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, using my little embellishment wand to get it in place. And then these 2 little pieces, these are cut out of American Crafts black cardstock. Got to write that on my list. I didn't have it on there. And just going to add on those eyes. And then I did go ahead and I cut them out of white as well, so I can add on the little highlights. Obviously, you don't need to do this if you just put it on the white background. And then there are my little highlights. And how cute is that little owl? My goodness. And then this is an A2 size card base. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp some faces. So I'm using the brand new Owl Faces stamp set with some Versafine Clair Nocturne ink and my Misty. You're going to want to stamp it on like a smooth cardstock. I find I get my best results doing that. So I'm just trying to line this little sucker up. There we go. Now remember that Versafine Clair Nocturne ink is not Copic safe, but I tend to tap some Copic color in there, and I'm just careful. But, you could use a Copic friendly ink if you are really stuck on that. You don't want to wreck your Copic markers, though, because, that would be a waste. So there we go. Stamp the little face on. Isn't that adorable? My goodness. It's just adorable. Whoops. Now, there's my little face. I'm going to stamp another little face just because I can. Right? So there are 3 different wing positions. And then, the look is endless when you stamp the faces, right? I think if you want to get these owl dies, you need to get the faces. They're just too cute. I'm going to do one more. I tend to make one owl, like just the owl head, in case you want to have an owl head on something. So this is another cutie one. And like I said, I'm stamping all on, that's that fine linen cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And there's a little smiley face one with the closed eyes. There we are. And I will take that off my Misty. So now I'm going to assemble another one. So this is American Crafts beige cardstock. And then I used like a variety of browns. They all have a bit of a texture to them, which is good. And everything lines up perfectly. So this is pretty easy to do. Now, when you're using the stamped face, you don't have to cut the beak or anything, right? So there's my cute little owl. Isn't that cute? I'm going to add in the little eyebrows. That's what I call this piece. That is like another brown from American Crafts. And then I use the same little orange zest feet. So this is American Crafts brown cardstock, and this is for the wings that are folded into the body. There we are, and isn't that cute? My goodness, it's just adorable, right? And then I'll add on his little pincher feet with my reverse tweezers there. And I just think, you know, you can't go wrong with these little guys. They are just too cute. I think kids could put this together for 2. So I'm taking this Copic marker YR07 and I'm just going to dot some color in on this little beak, being careful not to, you know, touch that black ink. And there we are. And I'm pulling out a Jelly Roll pen, Sakura white Jelly Roll pen and a number 10. And then I'm also using a number 5 to get in the, you know, the crooks and crannies because I like to color in the whites of the eyes. Just have to be careful. And I think that the 5 is pretty handy because it's really tiny and it gets into those little corners without making a mess. There we are. And I'm just going to fill in the whites of the eyes, the sclera, right? And isn't that fun? I just think it is so cute. Look how cute that owl is. There we go. Okay, so all done. And that's on an A2 size card base. Okay, I'm going to put together one more. So same thing. I'm using all different colors of American Crafts cardstock, black, beige, browns. So I'm just layering this up. You can see I'm going to use that different little face on this guy. So I'm just going to stick everything down. You'll notice that everything lines up perfectly. I'm going to add in my little face. You can see where it goes because there's stitching on the front of that head. And it lines up with the little neck area perfectly. Adding on another brown little eyebrow piece. And isn't that cute? Oh my goodness, it's so cute. There we go. And I've got the 2 little wings. These ones are kind of like, you know, your owl's going to hold something. Kind of like leaning to the front. So there are the little wings. Too cute. I'm going to pop up the little feet. These are the sitting feet, cut out of that same orange zest cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. There we go, adding both on. Isn't that cute? Taking an R29 Copic marker and I'm just going to tap the tongue. And then I'm using that same YR07 for the beak, being really careful not to touch that black. You don't want to color over that black stamped line because that would be terrible. And isn't that sweet? I'm taking some EK Success chalk and putting it on the cheeks because why not, right? Isn't that fun? And then I'm going to dot the little cheeks, give it some freckles because of course it would have freckles. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to add a little highlight to the tongue and there we go. So lastly, I'm going to put together just a head. So, you know, American Crafts, black cardstock, and then, you know, a variety of browns again. You can put the little head on an action wobble. That would be fun. So now I'm adding on the little face. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. It's just adorable. Adding on the little eyebrow piece. Now for this one, you're going to want to color in the color of the eyes. There. So you're going to want to be careful about that. So I'm taking the YR07 for the beak again, carefully. Then I'm taking E15 for the eyes, and I'm just going to carefully color in the eyes, trying not to touch any of the black. I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. And I just think that these little faces just, you know, give these little owls so much personality, right? Just too darn cute. There it is. So I'm taking my Sakura white Jelly Roll pen and a number 5 and a number 10, just to color in that white of the eye again. And the highlights, because, you know, I hate that when, you know, the highlights aren't white. Drives me bonkers. There we go. But then that's just me being crazy Leanne again, right? I'm a little bit bonkers about stuff like this, I admit it. So I'm just going to use that skinnier pen to get into the little points around there. And now I'm taking my bold one to add the highlights to the eyes. And there's my adorable little owl head. And then my owl bodies, die-cut eyes, stamped faces, just too cute. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team. The Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.